We start the video with Call of Duty Black Ops 6, the latest title in the famous first-person shooter game franchise, developed by Treyarch and Raven Software and published by Activision. The game is set to be released on October 25, 2024, and will be available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC platforms. Additionally, Xbox Game Pass subscribers will be able to play the title on the first day of release. The Black Ops 6 campaign is set in the early 1990s, shortly after the end of the Cold War, focusing on the rise of the United States as a superpower. The game will include 16 new maps for the multiplayer mode, along with a return of the popular Zombies mode, featuring new maps and secrets to be discovered. The movement system will also be updated, introducing a new system called Universal Movement, aimed at enhancing the gaming experience. Borderlands 4 has been officially announced and is scheduled for release in 2025. The announcement took place during Gamescom 2024, one of the world's largest gaming events held in Cologne, Germany. Gearbox software developers have promised that players will be able to shoot their way through hordes of enemies, maintaining the essence of what made the series so popular. Although a cinematic trailer was presented, many details about the gameplay or story have not yet been revealed. Randy Pitchford, one of the key figures behind the franchise, stated that Borderlands 4 will be the most ambitious game Gearbox has ever developed, promising to address previous title errors and bring an even richer experience to fans. With expectations for a more refined and ambitious game, the gaming community eagerly awaits more information as the release date approaches.
That's all for Mission Briefing.
Delta Force promises to bring back all the excitement and realism of the original games, with modern graphics and enhanced gameplay. Players engage in large-scale battles in squads, facing enemies on massive maps with various types of terrain and military vehicles. Squads confront rival teams and AI mercenaries in strategic battles, with random events on the map. The game will be free to play, meaning you can experience all the action without spending a penny. The game uses the Unreal Engine, promising a high-quality visual experience and dynamic gameplay. One of the game's highlights is the recreation of the classic Delta Force Black Hawk Down campaign, set during the famous battle in Mogadishu in 1993. This suggests that the plot may involve elements of military combat, tactical strategies, and the fight for survival in war scenarios. S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, Heart of Chornobyl is the next-generation sequel to the acclaimed game franchise developed by GSC Game World. This game promises a unique action and survival experience set in the Chernobyl exclusion zone, a post-apocalyptic scenario full of dangers and mysteries. In S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, players will explore an open world full of dangerous enemies, deadly anomalies, and powerful artifacts. The gameplay combines elements of first-person shooting, RPG, and survival horror, allowing players to make choices that will affect the story's development and the fate of humanity. The narrative unfolds in a dynamic and ever-changing environment where players must navigate warring factions and face violent mutants. The experience is enriched by an immersive atmosphere and a non-linear story, promising multiple endings based on players' decisions.
Іди своїм шляхом, і тоді ти зможеш побачити зону по-своєму.
Arena Breakout Infinite is a tactical first-person shooter game that stands out for its immersion and realism. It promises an intense combat experience in a war-torn setting known as the Dark Zone, where players must collect equipment and weapons, complete missions, and, of course, extract alive. The game is designed to be an ultra-realistic military simulator where resource management and strategy are crucial. Players face not only the hostile environment but also other players, making each match unique and challenging. Gameplay involves the need to heal wounds and carefully manage ammunition, creating moments of tension and critical decisions during confrontations. The game has been praised for its impressive graphics and realistic sound effects, contributing to an engaging gaming experience. Real-time lighting and 360-degree spatial sound effects help create an authentic atmosphere.
feel like I'm losing my...
Splitgate 2 is the sequel to the popular first-person shooter game, Splitgate, developed by 1047 Games. The game is in development and is set to be released in 2025 on various platforms. Splitgate 2 will be a competitive free-to-play shooter game, with matches in a 4 versus 4 format. Players can choose from different characters, each with unique abilities, and engage in frantic combat in various arena-style game modes and maps. Like its predecessor, Splitgate 2 will maintain the innovative portal mechanic, allowing players to create strategic paths during matches. This adds a layer of complexity and strategy to the game, making it more than just a simple shooter. 1047 Games CEO Ian Prue mentioned that the development of the first game was ambitious but disorganized. For Splitgate 2, the team is focused on delivering a more cohesive and refined experience, using Unreal Engine 5 to create high-quality graphics and gameplay.
Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign.
Killing Floor 3 is the latest addition to the popular first-person shooter game franchise developed by Tripwire Interactive. The game was announced during Gamescom 2023 and promises an even more intense and terrifying experience for fans of the series. The game is set in 2091, in a world where the mega-corporation Horzine has created an army of bioengineered monsters known as Zeds. Players take on the role of Nightfall specialists, forming teams of up to 5 people to face waves of Zeds. The main objective is to earn money during matches, which can be used to unlock abilities and enhance the arsenal. The game maintains a focus on cooperative mode, where collaboration between players is essential to survive enemy hordes. With a mix of intense action, horror elements, and a strong focus on cooperative play, Killing Floor 3 promises to be an exciting experience for both series fans and new players. Doom: The Dark Ages is a first-person shooter game being developed by id Software and published by Bethesda Softworks. This title is considered the 8th main entry in the Doom franchise and the 3rd in the modern series, succeeding Doom Eternal, released in 2020. The game is set in a medieval setting, reflecting an inspiration from the Dark Ages. The narrative will explore the origin of the protagonist known as Doomslayer, showing how he became a legend in his fight against demons. The game promises a dark atmosphere and grimdark aesthetic, as well as a focus on melee combat, with new mechanics including weapons like a saw-shaped shield and a flail. The game's creative director, Hugo Martin, mentioned that Doom: The Dark Ages will have a style reminiscent of the original 1993 game, emphasizing the importance of each projectile and a combat system that moves away from the verticality and speed of more recent titles. Spectre Divide is a competitive tactical shooter game that will be released in early access on Steam on September 3, 2024. Developed by Mountaintop Studios, composed of industry veterans who have worked at renowned companies like Respawn, Riot, Bungie, Blizzard, and Valve, the game promises to bring an innovative and dynamic experience to players. One of Spectre Divide's main features is the duality system, which allows players to control 2 bodies in real time. This means that when a player dies, they can quickly switch to a reserve body, offering a new chance to attack or defend. This mechanic enables players to defend 2 points simultaneously or make strategic swaps during matches. The game is structured in 3 versus 3 matches, where teams of 3 players compete against each other, resulting in a total of 6 characters on the field. Witchfire is a first-person shooter game that combines action, fantasy, and horror elements, developed by the Polish studio The Astronauts, known for titles like Painkiller and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. The game was announced during the Game Awards in 2017 and has attracted players' attention for its unique proposal and gothic visuals. The game is set in a dark fantasy world where players face various evil creatures. Witchfire is described as a roguelite for people who hate roguelites, offering a challenging experience with multiple paths to victory. Players will be armed with strange weapons and pagan magic, hunting a powerful witch who holds the key to salvation. The combat system is dynamic, allowing the use of light and heavy magic, each with unique properties. For example, fire magic can cause additional damage, while combinations of elements like fire and air can spread damage among nearby enemies. Ferocious is set on a prehistoric island full of deadly creatures and hostile forces. The adventure begins after a shipwreck in the uncharted waters of the Pacific Ocean, where the player wakes up on the beaches of a dangerous island. The main goal is to find a missing brother, but as the player explores further, they discover they are not alone on the island. The game combines exploration and intense combat elements, drawing inspiration from classics like King Kong and modern games like Crisis. Players will face dinosaurs and other prehistoric monsters, as well as an army of mercenaries. Gameplay includes the possibility of stealth, evasion, and even interaction with the island's native fauna. Ferocious promises to be an exciting experience, blending frantic action with an engaging narrative in a prehistoric environment. Well, that was the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and see you next time.